Okay, are we there yet? We should be any second. Come on. There I am. Cool. Here, let me just bring up these things again. Yeah, that's much better. All right. Mm-hmm. Cool. Hello there. Welcome to part 2 of this live read live stream for Star Wars Episode 9 Duel of the Fates. As mentioned before, this is the original version of Star Wars Episode 9 before it became The Rise of Skywalker. Not entirely sure what the reason was behind the fact that it was changed to such a degree, but hang on. I mean, this was written back in 2016, and this was written back in 2016, and uh, the character of Leia Organa is very prominent in this script, and you know, with Carrie Fisher's passing, it wouldn't have been possible to film this movie. I think that's definitely one of the biggest factors when it came to, like, redoing the script entirely, because there's absolutely no way that Carrie Fisher would have been able to do this. Because by the time The Last Jedi came out, she died. In fact, I think even the year before, like when, what was it called? Rogue One. She died around the same time as Rogue One. And so they definitely wouldn't be able to use her for Episode 9, at least with the material that's given in this script. And I'm not going to pretend to know, like, the process of what it's like to get a movie, like, rewritten and then released. Because, I don't want to BS anyone out there. I mean, it's only speculation at this point, but I know that a lot of people have been saying that they would have preferred, like, this version of the movie over The Rise of Skywalker. I myself am a little on the fence about it, but I'm not going to go into too much detail at the moment without finishing this version of the script. So, but as usual, we're going to be waiting just a little bit for some other people to show up. Because, I like to give people a fair chance of showing up before I actually begin. Here, let me just click out of that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was weird. Hang on, just... Yeah, that's a bit better. And, oh, hey, Zam Kirby. Yeah, always good to see you, dude. What's up? It's been pretty good. Been pretty good. I attended a Zoom gaming party last night. It was my friend's birthday, and we decided to play a bunch of Jackbox games over Zoom, and that was a lot of fun. And speaking of birthdays, I'm actually going to another birthday occasion today. Now, don't worry, it's actually my cousin's birthday, and she's vaccinated. My parents are vaccinated. I'm vaccinated, and we're going to a social distance dining kind of thing at Benihana, which is a Japanese cuisine restaurant. It's one of my favorite places, actually. And I'm not exactly sure how the seating is going to be arranged because, again, you got to social distance, and you got to make sure that everyone is far enough from each other. Because the way that Benihana normally works is that it's not just like one party per table. It's usually like at least 2 parties per table, depending on the size of the party. And so, in addition, we got to make sure that, people are that people aren't too close to the tables either. So, like, not every table is probably going to be occupied. The thing about the table is that it has a grill on it, and the chef like cooks your food in front of you. But my point is, I celebrated one birthday last night, and I'm celebrating another birthday today. So, good stuff. But with that being said, how are you, Zam Kirby? I don't want to make it all about me, because I care about my viewers. Nice. Uh, anything special happen? I mean, you don't have to bring up anything specific if you want to keep it to yourself, private or whatever. Because this is the internet, and more often than not, the internet never forgets. Ooh, what flavor ice cream? Classic vanilla. Any toppings to go along with that? Or is it like, just scoops of vanilla in like a bowl, a cone? Because that sounds really good right now. Wait, I just realized something. Just bear with me for a second. Ah, what happened? No, come back here. Oh, just a scoop of it. Okay, cool.
Hi, how can I help?
Oh, dang. All I said was cool, and my phone thought I said, hey Google. It just did it again. Come to think of it, maybe it should be on silent. It is on silent, so how the heck was it able to be so loud like that? Oh, great. What is it this time? The audio stream's current bit rate is lower. Wait, 0? Oh, yeah, very funny. Google wanted me to make a cameo. The audio stream's current bit rate 0 is lower than the recommended bit rate. What the heck does that mean? Hang on. Settings. Let's see. Audio. No. I don't know what it's talking about, because my bitrate is at a good level. I'm just going to contribute it to... I'm just gonna assume that it just doesn't know what it's talking about. But anyway, with all this talk of ice cream and Google aside, how about we continue with our story? We ended on Kylo Ren sucking, well, basically killing Tor Valum by using that that life force sucking ability. And I think I may have ended a tiny bit prematurely, but not by much. I mean, I thought it was a good place to end, when he's like, I know, you've given me so much. The light of the living force drains from Tor Valum into Kylo's open hand. Thank you. The ancient being falls dead, reduced to a withered shell. Like, originally I thought that was a pretty good place to end, because, it was like, ooh. But apparently, the next few lines or two kind of indicate that this happens immediately afterward. And here's what I mean by that. There's like exterior, Bonadan, outside navigator's hut, night. Ray collapses, a powerful disturbance coursing through her. What is it? He's growing stronger. Poe looks around the market, as if Kylo's nearby. We don't have much time. Interior, Jedi Temple Spire, night. Sparks fly as Rose welds the broken conductor into place. Will this old thing work with modern droids? You're asking me about the mechanics of a force-powered antenna. Outside of your realm of expertise? Out of anyone's realm of expertise. She closes the panel, flips a rusted lever. Silence. So is there like an on button or vroom? A light ignites within the machine. Hang on. Listen, if this goes sideways, I just want to say... Say what? A column of light shoots down the hollow spire. Interior, Temple Spire base, night. C-3PO lurches as the ground vibrates. The column of light from the spire above connects with the kyber crystal below. It glows. R2-D2 wheels next to the column of light and projects a hologram message directly into the data stream. Exterior, Coruscant, night. The light beam shoots up into the sky, visible for miles. The poor and downtrodden look at the beacon, faces warmed by its light. Among them, Dade smiles, hopeful. Exterior, deep space. The light leaves Coruscant and connects to a nearby planet. Exterior, Agora 6, day. Hills rise above a dense layer of palm jungle. Atop one, 1,000-year-old receiver from the Old Republic. The light hits the receiver, disappearing within. Interior, Agora 6 receiver, day. An old copper machine consumes the light. The gears spin and whirl. Monitors come to life with Arabesh code. An ancient Bendu monk rises to his feet, looks to the sky. He's been waiting for this a long time. Lights blink and flash as the machine decodes the data stream back into an image. Leia, elegant in her white robes. Exterior, Agora 6, settlement, day. Peasants in a breadline look up at the light hitting the receiver in the distance. Suddenly, a nearby R4 unit droid beeps wildly and projects the hologram of Leia. This is General Leia Organa of the Resistance. The receiver sends another beam of light from its core, angled on a different trajectory into the sky. Exterior, deep space. The beacon of light leaves the Agora system and connects to Wavit, a light blue planet further into space. Exterior, Wavit, shipyard, day. Workers look up as the light hits a receiver perched on a cliff overlooking the ocean. Suddenly, every droid in the yard simultaneously projects the hologram message from Leia. The time has come to forge a path to freedom. Interior, Mon Cala, fish bar, day. Mon Calamari pause to listen to the hologram emanating from several droid servers inside the floating eatery. The forces of oppression have ruled our galaxy for too long. Exterior, Gria, day. A village of floating straw huts on water. The light hits a man-made stone tower on the horizon. We must join together and fight. Send your fastest ships. Exterior, Bothawui City, day. Muscular canine Bothans look up. All your warriors. Interior, Trandosha Palace, night. Bosk, sitting like a sultan in his den of pleasures, turns angrily toward the hologram projected from his servant droid. Our voices will not be silenced. Bosk looks out his window at the light connecting to a red rock spire in the distance. He clenches his fist. Exterior, Tatooine, moisture farm, day. Setting suns against a boy and his sister at the base of a evaporator tower. Or is that a vaporator? Of a vaporator tower watching their R6 unit play the hologram. Yes? Now? We can no longer live in the shadow of the First Order. Exterior, Bonadan Market, sunset. Ray and Poe step through a dense, captivated crowd as droids project the end of the message. We must step into the light. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer Bridge. Leia stands on the bridge, watching the light connecting planets. A familiar group of resistance fighters join her, their eyes wide and hopeful. Exterior, Remnicor Tundra, night. As he approaches his ship, Kylo Ren feels the light in the sky. It's visible in the stars above. He moves to a rocky overlook, closes his eyes, concentrates, holds out his hand. The rocks around him vibrate. Deep. The light in the sky halts, stopped by an immovable force. Exterior, space. The light is frozen in place, like a suspended laser blast, thrumming as pressure builds. Interior, Jedi Temple Spire, night. The beam grows in intensity. The receiver quakes. Something's wrong. Go. Go! Rose and Finn dive away as the ancient device explodes. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer, bridge. The light goes dark. The fire of revolution extinguished. Leia is overcome with an ominous feeling of loss. Exterior, Bonadan Night Market, sunset. The holograms disappear. Rey's hope turns to alarm. We have to get to the ship.
What is it?
Rey is already moving, pushing through the crowd. Interior, Temple Spire, night. Rose and Finn climb from the rubble, coughing on dust. You okay? They are suddenly surrounded by a trio of TIE fighters. Laser cannons aim through the open arched windows. Come on! Finn clips onto the zip wire. Rose grabs on. They zip away from the tower as the temple spire explodes behind them. In the courtyard below, R2-D2 and C-3PO hurry out of the collapsing temple, swallowed by a cloud of dust. Exterior, above Coruscant, night. Finn and Rose escape the fireball, but the TIE fighters turn and pursue them, blasting away. Rose draws her weapon and shoots at the enemy ships in midair. She shatters the front windshield of one, hitting the pilot. It spins out and crashes. Rose is grazed by a laser blast. She screams in pain. The zipline snaps as the temple spire crumbles. Rose falls into darkness. Rose! Finn swings into open floor of the unfinished skyscraper, struggles to unhook himself. The TIE fighters hover around the skeletal structure on either side and fire into it. Finn runs for his life as the blasts ricochet off steel girders all around him. He slides into a stairwell under heavy fire. Exterior, Bonadan Night Market, sunset. Rey crumbles, emotional, feeling Finn's pain. Finn. She looks up at Poe, the crushing feeling of loss growing heavier. But Poe is looking at something behind her. Hataska Ren, through the separating crowd. Ott and Laurel Ren on either side, menacing amidst the carnival lights and box lanterns. Rey rises, backing away from the oncoming Knights of Ren.
Okay, I'm with you. We gotta get to the ship.
She reaches for her lightsaber.
Not here.
Rey eyes the children and peasants in the market. Poe's right. They can't take more casualties. Rey clenches her fist and force pushes everything around her. A powerful concussion blast that knocks everything away, including Poe. He flies off the edge of the market wall and plunges into the water below. Rey jumps onto the dock and unhooks a razor sail powered by a Dyson-like air cannon. Get on! Poe swims to the boat's ladder.
Can you sail?
Rey channels the force and fills the sail with a gust of wind that launches them into the bay. Exterior, Bonadan Bay, sunset. Poe and Rey speed across the bay toward the landing array. This boat is very fast. Something fires from above, exploding the water all around. Rey looks up. Knife 9 speeds over the water toward them.
Get to the bow cannon, I'll drive. No, get to the bow cannon, I'll drive.
Poe takes the helm while Rey activates the laser harpoon mounted on the front. She blasts away at Knife 9 while Poe steers them toward the Falcon's docking array. Interior, Knife 9. Hataska Ren pilots with cold precision. Jadek, Ott, and Laurel sit in surrounding cockpit chairs. Exterior, Bonadan Bay. Sunset. The razor sail now takes fire from all sides. Rey thinks fast, turns the harpoon, and shoots the sail cord. She reaches out to Poe. Hang on! Poe joins her and holds on tight. The disconnected sail lifts them up like parasailers onto the first revolving landing pad of the docking array. The razor sail hits the shore and explodes. Knife 9 banks away from the explosion, but turns right around. They're not done yet. Exterior, landing platform, sunset. Chewbacca is waiting by the ship.
Chewie, we drew some attention.
An adjacent landing pad lowers into view. Knife 9 rests on it. The 4 Knights of Ren stand ominously out front, their platform rising even with the Falcons. Rey activates her lightsaber. Stand back. Rey leaps onto their landing pad and takes them on, spinning and striking fast, outmatched but relentless. Poe and Chewbacca unload their blasters at Jadek, who deflects with skill while firing a pistol with one free hand. Rey fights Hataska, lightsaber versus dark saber, then force pushes him off the edge of the landing array. He falls 50 feet to the next pad below. Ott and Laurel stay on her, moving in coordination, an unseen hive communication keeping their deadly attacks in sync. Poe and Chewie can't get a shot on Jadek. His blaster fires fast, fully automatic. Poe is grazed. He screams in pain. On Rey and the Knights, Rey hears Poe scream. It brings rage. She kicks Laurel away, buying a moment of one-on-one with Ott. She slices through him, dropping him cold. Then she spins on Laurel, reaching out, and force pulls him into her lightsaber, impaling him. A ghostly screech as Hataska returns, swinging wildly. Rey disconnects her double saber and blocks his strike, one saber blade still impaled in Laurel's chest, the other clenched with Hataska. Beneath the Falcon, Chewbacca peppers Jadek Ren with bowcaster fire. Jadek struggles to deflect the shots while Chewbacca advances. He reaches Jadek, grabs him by the neck, and hurls him off the landing pad. Then he lifts his bowcaster and fires, hitting Jadek in midair like a clay pigeon. Hataska strikes at Rey. Brutal swings, his darksaber sparking when it hits the concrete. He grazes her. She drops her lightsaber and falls back, unarmed. Hataska stands over her, raises his darksaber for the kill. When he does, Rey gets a good look at his mask. Force back to dark figures in the rain, voices screaming, lightning flashes revealing Hataska Ren. Back to exterior docking array, sunset. The vision stirs a deep, vengeful anger in Rey, one she can't yet explain but knows to be true. Hataska brings his lightsaber down, but she extends her good hand, teeth clenched, eyes burning. Purple force lightning flows from her fingertips. Hataska Ren's skull flashes within his helmet as the electricity destroys him. The body falls, smoking. Rey rises. Poe and Chewbacca are watching her, disturbed. I had no choice.
It's okay. Jedi do that, right?
I've seen that mask before. All of them. Poe and Chewie head for the Falcon, but Rey does not follow.
Rey, let's go.
No, you can't go where I'm going.
What are you talking about? This was the plan.
The Resistance needs you. Finn and Rose need you.
Rey, get on the ship, please.
You have to leave this place.
I'm not leaving you.
Rey knows what she has to do. Hates it. You will leave this place and go back to help the Resistance.
I'm not... Don't do this.
She approaches Poe, delicately brushes her fingers over his bleeding forehead. You will leave this place and go back to help the Resistance. Chewbacca howls.
No, you can't.
Poe feels his mind slipping away from him. You will leave this place and go back to help the Resistance. Rey takes Poe's face in her hands and kisses him. When she pulls away, Poe looks distraught, saddened.
I have to leave this place. I have to help the Resistance.
Poe turns and walks up the ramp. Chewbacca follows. BB-8 looks up at Rey, ever faithful. She's purposefully cold. Go! BB-8 beeps mournfully and follows them on board. Rey watches as the Falcon's ramp rises, obscuring Poe and Chewbacca from her sight. Strangely, as it closes, Poe holds up a hand goodbye, his sentience breaking through the mind trick. The Falcon rises into the sky, Rey's sari robes whipping in the wind. Interior, Knife 9, sunset. Rey enters the cockpit, places Nomi's hand-drawn map on the console, rests her lightsaber on top of it. Her left hand is cut and bleeding. She wraps it with the sash from her sari, then removes the civilian robes to reveal the Black Warrior's clothing beneath. She catches her reflection in the mirror. A Jedi. Exterior, Bonadan, landing array, sunset. Knife 9 rises into the air and rockets into space. Interior, TIE silencer, night. Kylo Ren leaves Remnicor's orbit, mask off. A holocom transmission from Hux appears on his dash. Supreme Leader, the Resistance attempted to override the communications blockade.
Do you really not know who stopped them?
Hux's face betrays him. He didn't know. Such treachery cannot stand. We must respond swiftly.
Our empire is strong. Show them.
Your absence emboldens them. If you've acquired the power you seek, show it.
Snoke was right about you, Hux. Without faith, you serve only yourself.
Kylo shuts the holocom off, sets new coordinates manually, blasts into lightspeed. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer, bridge, space. Leia looks out at the blue swirl of hyperspace. General, we're approaching the rendezvous point. Leia makes a decision. Prepare an Imperial shuttle. I'll need a valid code clearance. But we're light years from... Yes, General. Connix exits, leaving Leia alone. She removes the General's bars from her robes, pulls a hood over her head. He's in pain. She responds to Luke as if he speaks to her often. I feel it too. Luke's Force Ghost steps forward, at her side. He'll soon be more powerful than our father. So will she. She feels too much. Love, anger. Don't we all? This is why the Jedi live in isolation. The pain of loss only leads to the dark side. I've lost everything and everyone, but I'd still choose to love. Leia regards her brother, missing him. Trust her instincts. She may not follow the path of the Jedi, but she's our only hope. Exterior, Coruscant, underground, night. Finn sneaks out of the skyscraper, bleeding, disoriented. Voices echo, flashlights searching for him, bearings lost. Down the alley, stormtroopers on ATLTs, single rider walkers, scan the dark with floodlights. A small light up ahead. He ducks into shadow. A stormtrooper, RK-514, approaches, scanning the tunnel with his blaster-mounted flashlight. Finn appears behind him, shoves a handheld device in the back of his neck, and stuns him. The stormtrooper collapses. Finn confiscates his weapon and holds him at blaster point. Look at me, the stormtrooper moans, half conscious. Take off your helmet. The trooper follows the order. His eyes are scared, disillusioned, vulnerable. What do you remember? How far back? Huh? Do you remember when you were taken? Remember your parents? I don't know. Yeah, you do. You remember everything. Conditioning camp. Blind fires. It was training. That's what they tell you. Finn's face finds the light. RK-514 recognizes him. You're him. The traitor. That's right. We're brothers. All of us. Finn tosses the stormtrooper's helmet out of reach. Give me your comlink. RK-514 hands him his first order comm. It's not what they said it would be, is it? The things we're ordered to do. It's not right. RK-514 takes that in. Torn. Breaking. You had a name once. Do you remember it? He shakes his head no. Get a name. That's the first step. Finn shoulders RK-514's blaster and kicks open a sewer grate. Then what? Find something worth fighting for. Finn drops into the dark sewer, leaving RK-514 changed. Interior, First Order Capital, Inquisitor Chamber, day. Chancellor Hux stands over a prisoner strapped to a vertical torture rack. Rose. Are you comfortable? Yeah, I have one of these at home. You changed the stolen destroyer's signature code so we couldn't trace it. Give me the new codes. You know, they told me to pick something easy to remember, like Life Day, but... You think this is funny? Very well. Hux holds out his hand, shuts his eyes, concentrating deep. Are you trying to use the Force on me? Be quiet! Oh, no, see, you're not special. I mean, at all. Shut up! He calms his fury, restraining himself. We have other ways to extract information. Hux opens a blast door to reveal an electric torture device. New tech, built to work quickly. Rose braces for a more painful kind of defiance. Cut to exterior, Oliphorn, dawn. Leia's shuttle descends among plumes of earth-hued steam, shooting up like skyscrapers from surface cracks. Aliens soak in sulfur baths, sweating from the steam. Interior, Oliphorn Village Street, day. A trio of drunken First Order officers stumble down a side street on leave. Two hold up the blitzed third, singing. Sing it how my mother sang it! A white-robed figure walks past them. We glimpse Leia's face as she maneuvers through the enemy's midst. She eyes an unmarked door, lit by a single lamp. When the coast is clear, she heads in. Oops, hang on. Sorry. Interior, all foreign cabaret club, day. Classy, smoke-filled, lampshades on every table. No customers left, only alien servers cleaning up and cashing out. A slovenly band manager divides up credits between a pair of quad-armed sextos at the two pianos on stage. The servers leave their night's take to be counted by the owner, Lando Calrissian, 7, smooth as ever. Leia's shadow falls over the pile of credits. A man in his element. Lando looks up, smiles big. Leia. Lando is quickly on his feet, brings her hand to his lips. All right. The band manager eyes them from the stage. You shouldn't be seen here. For your sake or mine? Both. Interior, Oliphorn Cabaret Club, private lounge, day. Lando pours a warm cup of tea. The clientele are mostly First Order, but what can I do? The grip of the Empire is tighter than the last. Smuggling's a matter of life and death. I need your help. Leia. We need ships, pilots. You know every smuggler in the galaxy. Look, I promised Han I'd take care of you if something happened. Oh, you take care of me? I know, you deserve better. But helping your new friends crash into the First Order's machine isn't what he would have wanted. Lando, the galaxy needs you. Lando eyes something of concern on the cabaret floor. A trio of stormtroopers talking to that skeezy band manager. They look up in Lando's direction. He takes Leia's hand and heads for a private elevator. Remind me never to make promises. Interior, Oliphorn, docking bay, space. Lando brings Leia to her shuttle, ready for departure. You need to go. I can't protect you here. Come with me. Fight with us. We won a war once already. What good did that do? We proved it could be done. Leia, I'd do anything for you. Lando puts a loving hand on Leia's cheek, leans forward, and kisses her tenderly on the forehead. I'm sorry. In the shuttle, Leia watches Lando grow small as the shuttle flies away, his cape dusting behind him. Rey, help us. Exterior, deep space, day. Rey drops out of lightspeed to find herself in swirling clouds, half red, half blue, an ominous and violent atmosphere surrounding a black circle, the galactic void. Suddenly, the navigational equipment blinks out. The ship rattles, alarms sound. Rey braces herself, recalculates for light speed, and makes the jump into the void. The stars streak into infinite straight lines ahead, then twist and bend as she passes through the black hole. Rey's face becomes an echo of itself, in 15 places at once, like the mirror cave on Ahch-To. Nearly subliminal flashbacks, Finn talking to her on Jakku, Han Solo handing her a blaster on Takodana, Kylo reaching into her mind on Starkiller Base, Leia smiling fondly on her return to Dakar, Luke taking the lightsaber on Ahch-To, Snoke snarling at her in the moments before his death, Poe yelling out her name on Bonadan, Hataska Wren's force-electrified mask, until it all stops. Rey opens her eyes. There's a planet ahead. No stars visible around it. Only deep black. Heavy clouds swirl over 1/3. Another third is a rich green. Another orange and red. Suddenly, the power drops out. Lights on the dashboard go dark. The ship goes into free fall. Exterior, Mortis, Western Woods, day. Knife 9 skims over treetops and crash lands in a riverbed. Tiny fish leap out of the water and run away. Rey pries herself out of the wreckage and sloshes to land. She looks back at the smoking ship. No turning back. She hikes into the leafy forest, summer turning to fall at an accelerated pace around her. The trees cleared to a steep ledge, a towering mountain ahead, a temple barely visible at the summit. The valley below is alive with autumnal oranges, yellows, and reds. She journeys on. Exterior, Mortis, Eastern Plateau, day. Kylo's silencer lands in a clearing of dead trees, no leaves on the branches, covered in snow. He looks up at the mountain ahead. Visibility is low. A natural stone bridge over a deep precipice. Tall granite on either side, vaguely shaped into primitive faces. It feels like a gate. A whisper on the wind swirls around him, fluttering his cape in the air. The force is strong here. He journeys on. Exterior, Coruscant, Imperial Boulevard, dawn. Empty. Silent. R2-D2 and C-3PO emerges from an abandoned building. Two small figures swallowed by the desolate urban landscape. R2 beeps. I agree, R2. We may not survive this time. A shadow falls over them both. A battalion of first-order transports descend through the morning mist. They touch down, releasing an army of brute troopers. Thick, muscular mercenary enforcers, chrome armor and masks, reminiscent of Phasma. These guys make the stormtroopers look like the neighborhood watch. Interior, tenement block, dawn. The brute troopers bark orders, flashing lights and weapons as families are forced from their homes. A horrified waist-high Chandra Fan begs for mercy. Beak! Beak not! A brute trooper shoves his rifle into the alien's stomach, doubling him over. A trio of infants wail from their perch on the ceiling. A few nearby stormtroopers look at one another, disturbed by the violence, next level vicious. The brute troopers push frightened citizens into prison crafts. Children are separated from their parents, herded into transports en route to the conditioning camps. They scream, reaching through steel bars as the crafts rise. R2-D2 and C-3PO watch in horror as it plays out around them. I can't watch. How horrible. R2 beeps, melancholy. We'll never find Master Finn now. Interior, sewer underground, day. Sludge water spurts out of multiple chutes into a gelatinous sewer cake of repulsive, mysterious contents. Finn jets out of a chute and splashes down, sputtering. Ugh. A pack of sewer womp rats feed on the refuse encased in the gelatinous mass. One approaches and sniffs, hideous whiskers brushing his face. Finn tries to dislodge his arm from the gel. Hey, get away! Ugh! It takes a lick of his face before he can pull an arm out and swat it away. The womp rats scatter. Then he sees why the rats scattered. The colossal Grylock, a white eyeless larva, the width of the tunnel it's emerging from. It feeds on the sewage, gaping mouth slowly sucking the gelatinous mass into its body. Oh no, 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 no! Finn dislodges himself enough to get stuck again. The Gryok closes in, slow as the sludge he's stuck in. This is the worst of bad nightmares. The Gryok's jaws open, dripping saliva, teeth like knives. Just as Finn is about to get eaten by this thing, a hatch a hatch above him opens, pouring light. It stayed. Give me your hand. Finn grabs the kid's hand and pulls himself up into the hatch just as the Gryok chomps down. Interior, sewer tunnel, day. Finn collapses, shaking, traumatized for life. That was so many disgusting things, all at once. I've seen worse. Dade. Just one name? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that, Finn? You know me. We've been tracking you since you landed. We? A distant screeching sound. What was that? You don't want to find out. Come on. Dade shows Finn his resistance ring. Trust me. Exterior, underground tunnel. Day. Finn follows Dade down a tight tunnel, boots splashing in the shallow water. Lights up ahead. First Order purged a 10-mile radius around the capital after the galaxy went dark. Took most able bodies to the conditioning camps. Did anyone escape? Just us. Dade opens a rusty door to reveal. Interior, abandoned underground prison. Day. Hundreds of compartment-like dwelling units connected by catwalks to a central control tower. Living here, 1,000 escaped citizens, aged 12 to 60. Finn is stunned. How many people are down here? 10,000, maybe more. You have weapons? Whole city's got weapons. That's what they're afraid of. 1 million of us rise up, the First Order's finished. Finn lets that idea burrow deep. You're right. He's caught up, fervent, brave. This revolution starts here. Right now. Sure, all we need is ships, weapons, an army. Finn looks at the massive underground cavern of humanity. 1,000 faces, waiting for a leader. We have one. Finn eyes the old prison command tower in the center. Interior, prison command tower, day. Finn kicks open the door and fires up the comm system. He looks out at the downtrodden faces. My name is Finn. I bring a message from the Resistance. An older woman exits her cell, tired and worn, kept down by this war since the Rebel Alliance days. The First Order rules by fear. They build ships to intimidate us, wear masks to frighten us. But they're the ones who are scared. The older woman takes her wooden spoon and raps it rhythmically against the bars of the old prison. This is not the time to hide underground. If we take the capital, the galaxy will join us. An alien joins, then another. Together, we can strike back. Together, we can resist. Hundreds, then thousands of people clinking their possessions together in unison. Finn stands tall. From traitor to deserter to revolutionary leader, his journey has led to this. Exterior, Mortis, Western Cliffs, day. Ray scales the icy peak, blasted by wind and sleet. She reaches a plateau, finds her footing. There are statues of robed ancients here, not Jedi. Hang on. storm of snow dust obscures her vision. Voices echo. Suddenly, she's back in the bright, warm sands of the Jakku Desert. Wind sweeps over the dunes. A child's voice screams out. Through the storm of sand, a little girl is dragged away from her mother and father. It's young Ray at the moment her parents abandoned her. The little girl screams, reaching out her hand. Come back! Wait! Ray steps toward them, feet digging in the sand. Wait! The mother breaks from the father's grasp and runs toward her young Ray, but the father holds her back. No, we can't! It's too dangerous! The mother relents, calls to her daughter, heartbroken. Stay here. Wait for us. We'll come back, understand? I promise, we'll come back. Young Ray screams. Ray's watery eyes match her younger self as the ship rises, casting a shadow over them both. The sandstorm kicks up, obscuring them. It turns from yellow sand to snow. Ray catches her breath, devastated. They were afraid. Why were they afraid? No response, only wind. Luke, tell me. Why were they afraid? He doesn't answer. She grows furious, screams. Her lightsaber flashes as she cuts an ancient statue in half. It falls, cracks in half. She looks up at the temple above, anger burning in her eyes. Exterior, Mortis, Eastern Forest, day. Kylo hikes through winter. Glimpses of the temple break through the canopy above. Suddenly, the wind dies. There's something ahead. A house in the woods. Smoke from the chimney. His younger self, Ben Solo, approaches the house. He wears all black robes, a hood. This is clearly some kind of force-induced vision, a sign of this planet's strength. Kylo watches from the shadows as Ben nears the house. When he puts his hand on the iron door handle, it opens. Han Solo stands in the doorway. He looks at his son with sadness and fear. What are you doing, Ben? That's not my name. That's not my name anymore. Your mother can't see you here. Not like that. Ben pulls his hood down. He's maybe 17. I'm not coming back. There's a greater destiny for me. They're lies, son. Empty promises. You have everything you need right here. What? You? Her? My master says I have unequaled power. Neither of you understand. Your mother understands more than anyone. She sent me away to learn, to grow. I have grown. Kylo watches Han approach his son, strikingly similar to their confrontation on the catwalk on Starkiller Base. Your mother loves you. She's afraid of me. Han eyes the lightsaber in Kylo's hand. Give me the lightsaber, son. Han reaches for the lightsaber. You know I can't. On the Starkiller Base catwalk, Kylo is back in the moments just before he killed his father. He watches as he plunges the blade through Han Solo, his father's eyes full of love, even as the life drains from him. In the Mortis Eastern Forest, Kylo, disturbed and shaken, alone again in the snow. Determined, he takes his first steps up the mountain. Cut to exterior, Coruscant streets, dawn, empty, silent. R2-D2 and C-3PO emerge from a side street. Two small figures swallowed by the desolate urban landscape. R2 beeps. I agree. This isn't the Coruscant I remember. A shadow falls over them both. A towering AT-MT walker rounds onto the boulevard. They watch it pass, dwarfed by it. It stops, a smoking, charred first-order tank in its path. C-3PO and R2-D2 look on, curious. Interior, AT-MT walker, cockpit, day. The AT-MT pilots look down at the burning tank. Any life forms? Nope. Interior, abandoned building, simultaneous. Finn and 100 People's Resistance fighters hunker down inside the empty building. The AT-MT's head is positioned just below them outside. Now! Floor-mounted grappling guns fire hooks and stick into the opposite building, creating several zip lines over the AT-MT. Finn clips on a carabiner. Exterior, Coruscant streets, day. 20 resistance fighters swing onto the ATMT like pirates boarding a ship. Finn drops onto the top of the ATMT's body. Dozens more land beside him. They run along its back to the head. A resistance fighter cuts through the hatch with a vibra-saw. Finn tosses a shock detonator inside. Clear! An electric flash within. The pilots slump over the controls. Finn drops in, pushes the pilots aside, takes the helm. A familiar alien, Six Eyes, takes the co-pilot seat. Load up! The side panels of the walker slide open, allowing the resistance fighters to rappel into the cavity. More armed citizens pour out of the alleyways to escort the steel beast as it walks down the boulevard, knocking aside the flipped tank as it passes. A pair of TIE choppers zip around the corner and square off against the ATMT. The walker blasts them out of the sky. Interior Capitol, Inquisition Chamber hallway, night. Hux paces. In the next room, Rose screams in pain between electric jabs and shocks. Chancellor, there's been an insurrection. Word has spread to other districts. Decimate them. Sir, the leader's a former FN unit. He was aided by a regiment of our own. Hux twitches. Impossible. We're dispatching additional units to address the revolt. No. Recall the FN units from active duty. Sir? If there's a flaw in their programming, we must correct it. Deploy more brute troopers. Those mercenaries are undisciplined and expensive. Perhaps money is all that inspires loyalty anymore. Do it! Interior Capitol, Interrogation Chamber, day. Rose's eyes are sunken, clothes ripped, blood peeking through the torn fabric. She hears commotion, the barking of orders. 2 officers enter, in a hurry. First Order officers. Oh, sorry, I don't have to read that part. Transfer to cell block 6. They want her in maximum security. One officer releases her from the rack. She slumps forward, dead weight. They drag her toward the door. As they move, Rose opens her eyes, eyeing the electric taser on the officer's hilt. When they reach the door, she hits the lights. She grabs the taser, shocks them both, clamps both their wrists to the iron shackles. So long, boys. Rose shuts the door behind her, leaving the 2 unconscious officers in here alone. Exterior, Imperial Boulevard, day. The ATMT turns the corner onto the Imperial Boulevard. Inside, Finn stokes revolt via loudspeaker. We will no longer live in silence. Gather your weapons. Rise up. Strike back. Finn squints out the window at a gold droid wandering among the cheering revolutionaries, unsure how he got there. 3PO? Finn climbs out of the ATMT hatch for a better look. Suddenly, he's yanked upwards. A brute trooper lifts him out of the hatch and throws him onto the back of the walker. Finn is locked in a fistfight on the back of a moving walker, 50 feet off the ground. Finn takes brutal hits from the brute trooper's steel gloves. It's like fighting a medieval knight with his bare hands. A powerful tackle, and they both roll off the edge of the moving walker. Slam! They land on the brute trooper's back. He keeps fighting, unharmed. Finn spots the walker's foot coming down on them. They roll away just as it lands. The brute trooper grabs a fallen blaster, puts a heavy foot on his chest, aims for Finn's heart.
Last words, FN 2187.
Suddenly, laser fire takes him out. Finn looks up at a unit of stormtroopers. The leader takes off his helmet, extends his hand. It's RK-514. He lifts Finn to his feet, hands him a blaster. Rafe. I like it. The other stormtroopers take off their helmets and throw them aside. Diverse faces with a new purpose. Freedom. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer, bridge, space. Connix escorts Leia to a terminal. The message is from a First Order transmitter. Finn is alive. He has an army ready to storm the capital. They need reinforcements. All we have is what's on the ship. You can't win a war with 100 pilots.
+1.
Chewbacca growls.
Sorry, +2.
BB-8 beeps.
Okay, I get it.
Leia's face falls from relief to dread. Where's Rey?
She went on alone. Her choice, not mine. What about the others?
We lost contact with Rose. Finn is alive. He says he has an army on the ground.
Then we put our pilots in the sky and back him up. What? This is what we've been waiting for. If we take the capital, we can destroy that jammer and call the galaxy to war.
They'll kill millions. I've seen it. It's too reckless.
Resistance is reckless. Passion is the greatest weapon we have.
Poe appeals to Leia, their history together laid bare.
The rebels fought the Empire and won. You showed us it could be done. But that was your war. This one's ours. Let us fight it.
Leia looks at the Resistance fleet. Young, ready. Set a course for Coruscant. Ready all weapons and attack ships. This is a full assault. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer, Docking Bay, Space. Resistance soldiers load into transports. Pilots lower their droids into space. Urban assault vehicles roll into the open cargo holds of massive heavy transports. Exterior, Eclipse Destroyer, Space. The Eclipse tacks toward a distant point. The hyperdrive fires, rocketing the massive craft into deep space. Cut to exterior, Temple of Mortis, day. Kylo Ren ascends the steps to a sealed stone door. The temple is cut into the mountaintop. Uninterpretable carvings, runes, and statues allude to civilization and knowledge long lost. He reaches out. The door bends to his will and opens. A millennium of dust spills from its cracks. But he does not enter. He knows he's not alone.
I knew you'd come.
Kylo turns to face Rey.
I knew you'd come.
Kylo turns to face Rey. His mask surprises her. She's only seen the projection of his ideal self in their connections. Not this.
The Force is strong in this place. Can you feel it?
A low rumble. She's digging into his mind. You're in pain beneath that mask.
Get out of my head. You won't like what you find.
He pushes her back. Her feet slide back a few inches, but she withstands it, steadfast.
I'm stronger than Anakin Skywalker. Stronger than his son.
But you're still afraid.
Of what? You?
Of what you've become. The dark side has left you empty, alone.
I don't have to be alone. With the power of this place, we can rule the galaxy as the ancients did. The dark side and the light.
You still think I'd join you, after what you did to my family? Kylo falters a bit. Wait, what's the sentence? Where you going? Oh, I think that's a typo right there. It's supposed to say, were you going to tell me here? Were you going to tell me here? Weaken me with the truth? I know what you did. Deep down, I've always known. She circles him like a lion. My parents didn't sell me for drinking money. They were hiding me from you.
So you do remember.
Flash 2, the Knights of Ren in the rain. The image from Rey's Force vision when she first touched the lightsaber. A distant child screams.
Snoke made his orders clear. Find anyone who could destroy him. It didn't take us long to find you.
You killed my parents.
You blame me for your life on Jakku. You should thank me for it. You were safe.
Say it. Did you kill them?
I did.
A blast of powerful energy explodes around her, clearing the temple mount of loose rocks. You murdered Han Solo.
I'm not here for you, Rey.
Millions of people.
All I want is behind that door.
Rey ignites her dual lightsaber. Then you'll have to kill me. Kylo lights his own saber.
I know.
Kylo attacks. They clash on the steps of the temple, both far more powerful than the last time they met. One of these two will not survive. Cut to exterior, Coruscant, space. The eclipse appears from light speed. The city glows beneath. First Order Sentinel ships protect the capital from space. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer, bridge, space. Leia spins around in the chair once occupied by Akbar. Send the fleet to planetfall. Surprise is the only advantage we have. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer, docking bay, space. X-wings and Razorcraft fighters speed out of the bay, followed by troop transports and cargo drop ships. Poe races toward the Falcon. Chewie and BB-8 follow.
No, we don't have enough pilots. Get out there and do some damage. I don't know, pick one.
Chewie looks around, spots an orange X-wing, cocks his head. Interior, First Order Capital, command deck, day. Hux enters the command deck overlooking the boulevard. Smoke rises between the buildings. Chancellor, we've detected a ship in orbit. One of ours, but with unrecognized signature codes. It's the stolen Eclipse. Summon all destroyers to the capital. We can end this uprising and eliminate the resistance in one triumphant day. Exterior, Eclipse Destroyer, space. The Millennium Falcon rockets out of the bay and joins the Resistance attack fleet. The Sentinels unleash hell, assisted by a squadron of TIE fighters, of TIE hunters, launching from within. Poe is inundated with blasts from larger ships. A trio of hunters bear down on the Falcon, then explode in succession. Chewbacca's X-Wing zips overhead, eliminating the enemy ships with precise focus shots. Interior, Chewbacca's X-Wing, cockpit. Chewie wears no helmet. BB-8 chirps from the droid socket. Interior, Falcon, cockpit. Poe raises his eyebrows, impressed.
That's one hell of a pilot.
Exterior, above Coruscant, space. The Eclipse unloads a super laser on the Sentinels. They explode as our attack fighters and transports descend through the billowing fire to planetfall. Exterior, Coruscant, Imperial Boulevard, day. Whomp! The AT-MT's Walkerfoot stomps down the boulevard toward the First Order capital. The new Resistance army moves with it, thousands now, some with blasters, others with nothing but clubs and passion. Finn marches out front with Rafe and his rebel troopers. Dade rides out of the top hatch of the head of the AT-MT, speaking through the booming broadcast speaker. Rise up! Join the fight! Small bands of revolutionaries appear from side alleys, a trickle building to a stream, building to a river. But a distant sound silences them. Lockstepped boots. 1,000 riot-suppressing Mandalorian brute troopers, bulky armored mercenaries with heavy shields and arm cannons. Sun cuts through the fog, revealing the extent of the capital's defenses, advanced tanks and walkers, new designs we've never seen. Finn holds the line at the sight of the oncoming forces. Stand your ground! Finn and the stormtroopers are hit with fire from all sides. On R2-D2 and C-3PO, walking through lasers. A First Order astromech droid, R808, rolls to a scomp terminal on the side of a flipped tank and plugs in. R2 beeps urgently. He's sending a distress signal. Stop him! Nobody's listening to C-3PO. R2 beeps furiously. Me? I'm not programmed for violence, R2. Beep. C-3PO steels himself, hustles through laser fire, and rips open the back panel of R808. I do apologize for this. He reaches into the droid's innards and pulls circuits out. R808 beeps in distress, adding to C-3PO's terror. Please go quietly. One last yank and R808 sparks out. Tips, hits the ground. R2 quickly plugs into the vacated scomp link, sends his own command. The belly railgun stops, spins, resets, and fires on the brute troopers. Finn climbs up onto the flipped tank, past C-3PO, who frets over the inanimate shell of R808. I've done horrible things. I may never be the same. Shadows glide over the long boulevard. A squadron of TIE bombers cratered the boulevard ahead of them, Geysers of concrete spew upward. They're about to be decimated when a fleet of X-Wings and B-Wings dive from the sky. The resistance ships fly through the trench of buildings and hammer the bombers, spinning them into explosive collisions. Finn, Rafe, and the stormtroopers cheer the skies. Resistance transports land on the boulevard behind them. Stolen First Order AT-ATs, AT-STs, and attack speeders emerge from the cargo doors. They are heavily modded, painted with revolutionary colors, eyes, and teeth. Resistance troops pour out of landing transports. You feel that? Finn swells with hope. We are the Resistance! All of us! Cut to exterior temple of Mortis, night. Rain pours the gray stone, lit by flashes of blue and red. Lightsabers clash as Rey and Kylo fight mercilessly on the steps of the temple. Ancient statues crumble. Rey stops them in midair, pushing them back.
I could have been your teacher.
Rey loses ground, doubts herself, stumbles.
I could have ended your pain.
Rey slices Kylo's mask, shearing the bottom right half clean off, revealing the flesh beneath. He removes it, eye to eye. She parries and attacks.
You're weakening.
Kylo allows Rey's barrage to hammer him, taking careful, controlled counterstrikes through her wild assaults. The last glimmer of a dying light. Kylo strikes, a wicked blow across her face that instantly cauterizes a scarf from her left cheek to her forehead. Rey's lightsaber drops to the stone. She falls to her knees and screams, clutching her eye. When she opens them, the world is an abstract blur of light. She's blinded. Kylo stands over her, lightsaber pointed to her heart. Rey looks up, crying blood. Rey falls backward down the stone steps, motionless.
Goodbye, scavenger.
Kylo enters the Temple of Mortis, leaving Rey blind and bleeding on the steps. Cut to exterior above Coruscant, space. The Falcon buzzes the surface of the eclipse, picking off attackers. Chewbacca's X-Wing flies right with it.
Wham!
A finalizer Star Destroyer arrives from hyperspace. It fires on the eclipse, hitting the deflector shields. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer, bridge. Leia swivels in her chair, conducting the revolution. Engage starboard cannons. Exterior, above Coruscant, space. Gun ports on the side of the Eclipse open, pushing out 20 massive ion cannons like a pirate ship. They fire in unison. The finalizer stutters from the barrage and explodes. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer, bridge. Leia clenches her fist amidst cheers of victory. Wham, wham, wham. 10 more destroyers arrive at once, an armada of sizes and classes. Her confidence strains. Come about! The Eclipse turns on its axis and unleashes hell. The lasers light up the dark like Christmas. The First Order destroyers fire back, faster and more propulsive than we're used to. Their relative scale to the Eclipse lets us feel their speed for the first time. Exterior, Coruscant, air battle, day. The Resistance ships weave and glide between buildings, firing on TIE hunters at window level of the profiteers who finance this conflict. A tight squadron reaches the capital itself. Their leader, Elo Asti, sends a pair of homing missiles into the structure. They hit big. Ion cannons on motorized swivels rise up from the structure's roof, blasting ships out of the sky with deadly precision. Interior, First Order Capital, War Room, night. Chancellor Hux watches a holographic representation of the air battle. How is this not over? It's the stolen dreadnoughts, sir. Our fleet isn't equipped to engage a ship of that magnitude. I mean all of it. Oh, hello. Hello, Starlight. I was just really into the scene. That's why it took me a while to respond. Thank you for joining us. Let's continue. Boom! An explosion rocks the Capitol, flickering the lights. Interior, First Order Capitol corridor, day. Rose sneaks through the crisp white hallway. She ducks into a recess, a procession approaching, Commander Selleck in the center of it. Ready the hyperdrive. Rose holds a gasp. The capital is a ship. In the unlikely event our defenses are breached, we'll make the jump to light speed. She watches the First Order techs break away. They scan the ID bars on their uniforms and disappear through a door. Rose sneaks to a window overlooking a vast architectonic abyss encircling the spine of the Capitol. Attached to the spine like a vertebra, the cube transmission jammer, completely encased in armor with no bridges or access points. She can't reach it. Removes those confiscated First Order ID bars from a hidden pocket. Scans the door. It opens. Interior, First Order Capitol. Navigation room. Day. Rose creeps into a control room stacked with nav consoles. First Order tech. Prepare for surface disengagement. Ready engines for hyperspace. Purely precautionary. She slips behind consoles and opens a panel in the floor. Interior, navigational subspace. Day. Rose crawls into the subspace beneath the control room, surrounded by the wired computer towers that power the hyperdrive. The techs are still audible above. Ready to set coordinates, sir. Plot a course for the Fourth system. Rose opens a panel to hyperdrive computer's motherboard and goes to work. Interior, Millennium Falcon, cockpit, space. Poe zips between a pair of burning destroyers as they collide behind him, swarming ties and chaos outside his cockpit.
Chewie, get down there. They need you. I've got this under control.
He doesn't. Interior, Chewbacca's X-Wing, space. BB-8 beeps frenetically. Chewbacca spins and dives, breaking into the atmosphere. Exterior, First Order Capitol. Day. Chewbacca's X-Wing descends to the Capitol, weaving through the grid of lasers fired upwards by the ion cannons. He makes an attack run over the cannon arrays, taking out several turrets with one continuous dizzying display of aeronautical badassery. Interior, Chewbacca's X-Wing, day. Alarm warnings, multiple lock-ons, TIE fighters swarm around Chewie. Ganging up. BB-8 chirps, concerned. Chewie roars, also concerned. Blam! They're hit. Chewie maneuvers over Monument Square, spinning into a dive. Exterior, Monument Square, day. The orange X-Wing makes a distressed landing, knocking over brood troopers in its path as it comes to a screeching stop. Save the pilot! Finn and his squad blast their way toward the crashed ship. He climbs onto the wing. BB-8 beeps frantically. BB-8? The cockpit pops open. Chewbacca roars. Chewie! Where'd you learn to fly like that? Incoming! A fresh batch of heavy ATMTs emerge. Cannon fire rains down from the Capitol above. This revolution may not last long. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer. Bridge, day. Leia is wary but steadfast. Change our plane of attack. Don't let them line up on us. Connix interrupts urgently. General, our agent on the inside is contacting you. We have an agent on the inside? Connix activates her comm speaker. The Capitol is a ship. Rose, slow down. Interior, First Order Capitol. Control subspace. Day. Rose is patched into a comm terminal. Sparks falling around her. Hot-wired cables string between CPU towers. They're going to leave the planet. I can disable the hyperdrive, but I need the key codes in R2's memory drive. Intercut with Eclipse. R2's with Finn. Patch her through. Finn's alive? Exterior, Monument Square. Finn takes cover behind a fallen ATST, yells into his comm. Rose, you're alive. Stay where you are. We're coming for you. Interior, First Order Capitol, controls subspace, day. Rose rolls her eyes, about to save everyone's ass. Great. Listen carefully. I need R2 to transfer me the hyperdrive keys before this thing takes off. Hyperdrive? Where are you? There's a Scomplink terminal at the base of the Capitol. I'll have a direct connection to him from there. Got it? Exterior, Monument Square, day. Finn looks around frantically. R2, where are you? He spots C-3PO and R2-D2 behind a flipped tank, races to them, grabs R2-D2. We need to get you to the Capitol. Master Finn, we're more suited for rear unit duty. Finn looks out at the battlefield, eyeing the patch to the base terminal. First Order transports touch down ahead. Even more Brute Troopers spill out onto the square. None of this matters if we don't reach that terminal. R2 beeps, determined. For glory? What are you saying, R2? This is no glory for droids. Blam! R2-D2 takes a direct hit from a cannon blast. He hits the side of the tank and falls hard. No comical squeal. He's silent and scorched black, unmoving. R2? R2! Chewie, cover us! Finn hunkers over R2. Chewbacca stands tall, firing away. R2, say something. Finn waves smoke away from R2's burnt body. The droid circuits are dead. No power. Those codes are in here somewhere. Finn opens a panel and removes R2's memory drive. I'm sorry, buddy. BB-8! BB-8 rolls up, ready for duty. Finn opens a compartment in the droid's round body and inserts R2's memory drive. It's all up to you now, okay? Rose, send BB-8 the terminal coordinates. He's got this. You got this, right? BB-8 nods, silent, focused. His moment. Covering fire! Finn, Chewbacca, and the Stormtroopers cover as best they can. Go! Go! BB-8 dashes into the battle. We stay right with him, tracking past a barrage of explosions and laser blasts, through moving AT-MT legs, narrowly missing craters and fallen Brute Troopers. Finn watches the little guy from afar, inspired. He looks around at the wounded resistance, cut off and surrounded, fighting for survival. Boom! An explosion knocks Finn off his feet, ears ringing. Fall back! Finn yells to C-3PO, still kneeling over R2-D2's fallen body. 3PO, we have to move! C-3PO looks up, hand on R2-D2's scorched head, emotion like we've never seen from him. I can't leave him. Finn is speechless, crushed by it all. Chewbacca reaches down and heaves R2-D2's scorched shell up onto his back. With one arm blasting and the other securing R2, he and Finn race toward cover. Chewbacca gets hit, stumbles, keeps going. Chewbacca is hit again, falls to one knee, almost drops R2, stands up. Finn's eyes tear up as they fire back at impossible odds. This is how it ends. Interior, Millennium Falcon, space. Poe watches enemy ships slip through their strafing attack formations and descend toward Coruscant. We'll have no chance down there if these reinforcements make it through. We need more ships. Interior, Eclipse, bridge, space. Another Star Destroyer appears from hyperspace. At another, Leia watches the numbers shift even more out of favor. Luke, I'm sorry. Interior, Temple of Mortis, night. Kylo Ren's long shadow precedes him into the cavern of stone. Statues of the ancients look down into a deep void in the center, sealed with a slab of unpolished marble. Kylo reaches out. The stone slab slides off and falls onto the ground with a thud. He looks down into the well beneath the temple, deep into the heart of Mortis, eager for his reward. It's empty. It's empty. Nothing. A hole in the ground. No. No. Kylo searches the room-covered walls for answers. He finds only arcane sculpted faces looking down at him. He fires his saber and slashes at the statues, scarring the ancients with his rage. You've lost, Ben. Luke Skywalker steps into the light. A thin blue glow traces his form. You're dead! The Jedi are ghosts! The dark side has failed you, like it failed my father. Your father was weak! His love for his family saved him. I wish it could save you. Luke looks deep into his former student's pained eyes.
I did what I had to do.
You chose hate.
I chose power!
Kylo fires his saber and attacks, but Luke catches the blade with his gloved hand, stopping it in midair, stronger than Kylo could possibly imagine.
I'll be stronger than any Skywalker has ever been!
Their faces are inches away, separated by the red blade. You are no Skywalker. Exterior, Temple Mount, night. Rey lies motionless on the stone steps, blind and bleeding in the rain. Then her hand moves. Her eyes flutter open. Luke. Interior, Temple of Mortis, night. Luke's expression changes, sensing her. Let go, Kylo. You can't defeat us. Us? I am not alone. Obi-Wan was right. Exterior, Temple Mount, night. Rey drags her shattered body up the temple steps. Her arm gives out. She collapses. The pain is too much. We're connected. All living things. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer, bridge, space. Leia looks beyond the battle, feeling Rey's pain. Rey. The Force surrounds us. Interior, Capital Navigation, subspace, day. Rose winces from Spark as she rewires the hyperdrive on the Capital, fingertips bleeding. She looks up, a feeling. It penetrates us. Interior, Millennium Falcon, night. Poe flies through a barrage of laser fire. It binds the galaxy together. He feels the connection from across the galaxy. Rey. Exterior, Temple Mount, night. Rey into the rain. Poe. Gather. Finn. Exterior, Coruscant, Imperial Boulevard, sunset. Finn is crouched low behind cover. Lasers flying overhead. We are one, bound by the Force. Finn feels the connection. A surge of hope. Fight, Rey. Fight. Exterior, Temple Mount, night. Rey hears him. He's there with her. They all are. Fight. Interior, Temple of Mortis, night. Luke gives his former student a faint smile. And we will not be broken. Exterior, Temple Mount, night. With all her strength, the last Jedi rises. She unwraps a strip of cloth from the bandage on her hand, uses it to blindfold her eyes. Interior, Temple of Mortis, night. Luke vanishes. Beyond him, Rey stands tall in the arched doorway, blind, bruised, determined. Our masters were wrong. I will not deny my anger, and I will not reject my love. Her fallen lightsaber flies into her hands. I am the darkness, and I am the light.
You are nothing. You are no one.
She ignites the blades. They crackle. No one is no one. Kylo charges. Their blades meet and sizzle. Rey fights him, blindfolded, guided by the Force. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer, space. Burning Resistance cruisers plummet to landfall. Leia watches the fiery carnage out her observation window. It's over. More ships arriving from the Outer Rim, General. Prepare to retreat. Prepare to retreat. These aren't First Order ships. Leia looks out at the starfield ahead. Off her surprise, 1,000 ships appear from hyperspace. A massive fleet of smugglers and thieves flying tricked-out junkyard-bound personal cruisers. The pirates Han Solo spent half his life running from. In the lead is Lando Calrissian's personal starship, the Lady Luck. Interior, Lady Luck, space. Lando Calrissian helms the controls.
Thought you could use a few scoundrels.
Nine Nylan, an aging alien in a vintage bomber jacket, shakes his head. Shakes his head, the co-pilot's chair. Nayadub Nudman. Which is I'm too old for this shit. I'm just gonna say the English thing, unless it says otherwise. Lando's ragtag fleet attacks, covering for the larger battleships as they lay waste to the enemy. Exterior, Coruscant, Imperial Boulevard, day. A burning TIE Hunter crashes into the army of brute troopers and tanks in the square. Finn looks up. A battalion of ships he's never seen before join the firefight in the sky. What? Yeah! He raises his rifle in the air, yelling to all who can hear. Chewie! We got company! Exterior, Capital Base Terminal, day. BB-8 reaches the Capital Base and plugs into the terminal. Interior, First Order Capital, Control Subspace, day. Rose receives the feed on her hacked CPU tower. The panel lights up with a flood of key codes. Attaboy. Interior, Eclipse, Bridge, Space. The First Order fleet takes a beating. First Order forces are in retreat. Send more ships to the capital. Leia smiles as relief washes over her. Poe, get down here. Poe, get down there. Interior, Millennium Falcon, Space. Poe steers the Falcon into a steep descent, straight down. Copy that. The Falcon stops one long descent from space into the city. Poe takes out TIE Hunters as he goes, firing the Falcon's forward cannons until they jam dry. The ship dives into the canyon of buildings, leveling out on a trajectory toward the legion of ATMTs on the boulevard. The factory buzzes over the heads of Poe and Chewbacca and crashes through the legs of the walkers, cutting the mechanical beasts off at the knees, toppling them as it sparks out I cannot talk today. Toppling them all as it sparks out into Monument Square. The ship grinds to a stop at the base of the Capitol. The accumulated pile of fallen walkers and crashed ships create a barricade on the front steps. Interior, First Order Capital, day. Alarms blare. Commanding officers frantically prepare for departure. Hux eyes the crashed Falcon in the square below. Bomb the city! Decimate every last being! Our forces are outnumbered, sir. Hux realizes the tragic truth. He lost the Star Wars. I'm really sorry for taking this awkward pause, but I'm gonna be perfectly honest, that's the stupidest line I've ever read in my life. He lost the Star Wars. And on top of that, it's underlined. It's like the screenwriters were really proud of that line and they wanted to underline it just to show how great and clever they are. Been a while since I've had my immersion broken like that. Not gonna lie, there are a lot of really stupid lines in this script, but that takes the cake. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of angry right now and annoyed. Just give me a minute. No, but no, but what's especially dumb about that line, he lost the Star Wars, that's not even going to be in the movie. Like, if this were turned into a movie, that line's not going to be. Like, that's just a descriptor kind of thing. It's not a thing that's going to be shown in the movie. It's unless someone literally says out loud, "Oh, I lost the Star Wars." Like, I guarantee you, if someone actually added that line of dialogue in the movie, that was everyone in the audience would boo like that. It'd be the most booed thing since Greedo shooting first. Like, I saw a Hollywood orchestra performance of Star Wars. Like, we watched Star Wars on the big screen at the Hollywood Bowl, and the orchestra played the music along. And when they showed the scene of Greedo shooting first instead of Han, literally everyone in the audience booed out loud. And I'm saying that if someone actually said, "I lost the Star Wars," like in the actual Star Wars movie, everyone would do that at once. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's my problem with this script. Exactly, Zam Kirby. A lot of the stuff that was written in here, you know what? I'm gonna save it until I'm finished with this reading the script, okay? Because I feel like I'm already taking up enough stuff as it is, but I'm definitely referencing this sentence again. I'm really sorry for stopping like that. My mind just needed to process the stupidity of that line. Anyway, back to the exciting finale battle. Interior, Chancellor Hux's chamber. Day. Hux storms into his lush chamber, goes to the collector's case, removes one of his prized vintage lightsabers. He activates it and impales himself with the purple blade. Hux kneels, the glowing saber protruding from his chest as First Order ships descend in smoke and fire out the window. Cut to Interior Temple of Mortis, night. Kylo counters Rey's every move. They are evenly matched, two sides of a coin, flame and shadow, fighting to the death. A vicious swing and Kylo's lightsaber shatters at the hilt, destroyed, along with several fingers on his left hand, cut across the palm. He looks at it with disbelief, stumbles back toward the empty well of Mortis, falls to one knee. Rey stands over him, anger flowing. She separates her dual lightsaber, holds one blade pointed to Kylo's chest. Kylo is stunned by powerful being before. Wait. Kylo is stunned by powerful being before him. That is not a sentence. She's almost glowing, unfathomable living force within. Kylo clenches his teeth, eyes furious, a rage like we haven't seen since Anakin. He reaches out the open palm of his good hand and extracts the living force from Rey as Tor Valum taught him. She rises, energy flowing from her body into Kylo's hand as the life drains from her. She pulls her blindfold off and screams to the sky. Kylo stands tall, energized. His face has returned to normal, healed. He pulls the iron plates off his skin. They fall away, healthy flesh underneath. He looks beyond Rey to the empty well of Mortis. They were wrong. All of them. The power of this place can't be taken. Ben, but it's nothing compared to you. Kylo takes more from her. Rey is almost gone, drained of life. She summons all her strength, reaches out. With the last of herself, she offers him her hand. Ben, please. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer Bridge, space. Leia feels the disturbance. It pains her. Into the vastness of space, she says her son's name. Ben. Interior, Temple of Mortis, night. Then Kylo hears his mother's voice, carried by the Force. Ben. He stops, hearing her. Feeling her close. Come back. Come home. Something happens to Kylo when he hears his mother's voice. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer Bridge, space. Leia speaks to her son through the Force. Help us. Interior, Temple of Mortis, night. Kylo feels the very thing that destroyed Anakin, but doesn't make him feel weak. He looks at Rey's outstretched hand and takes it. The living force flows back into her. Both light and dark swirl within Rey as Kylo's reduced to an empty shell, a man without power, a frightened boy. Kylo and Rey collapse into one another, each propping the other up on their knees. Rey is close to him now, their foreheads touching. He is weakened, spent, in the last moments of his life.
Solana.
Rey is stunned to hear her name, distant, like a memory.
Your name. Rey Solana.
Those words are Ben Solo's last. Rey watches the light dim in his eyes, but it is the light. Goodbye, Ben. With a look that could be perceived as love, Ben Solo dies. Rey releases her hold, collapses, barely alive herself. They fought to the death. Exterior, Capitol steps, sunset. Finn appears through smoke, blood-stained, dirty, a hero. Rafe and the other renegade stormtroopers behind him. Poe climbs out of the Falcon cockpit. Chewbacca helps him. Finn regards his old friend, amazed at his transformation. He spots a fallen resistance flag on the ground, picks it up, hands it to Finn. Finn takes the flag, climbs up the angled bow of the crashed Midnight Oiler to the top of the barricade of ships. Poe and Chewbacca scale it with him. Finn waves the flag for all to see. The ground shakes. They all look up as the First Order Capitol leaves its moorings.
Everybody get back!
A thunderous boom as the Capitol rises into the sky. Rose is still in there. Finn spots BB-8 rolling toward them from the quaking base. BB-8, where is she? Interior, First Order Capitol, escape pod bays, day. Rose races through the quaking Capitol, checks a hand-drawn map on her hand, rounds a corner toward a bay of escape pods, climbs inside one, shuts the door. It launches as the Capitol rises, a short trip before it crash lands onto the battlefield. Interior, First Order Capitol, command deck, day. Commander Selleck looks down at the shrinking metropolis below. The massive destruction casts a shadow over the city. Ready for light speed. Exterior, First Order Capitol, day. Finn rushes to Rose's crashed escape pod. Rose! Are you okay? Touches his hand affectionately. I'm fine. She looks up at the rising Capitol, backlit against the setting sun. Poe, Chewie, BB-8, and C-3PO follow her eyes. They're getting away. Did you disable the hyperdrive? I couldn't figure it out. Hope falls away. The war is lost. So I made some adjustments to their navicomputer. Without precise calculations, the Capitol jumps to light speed. The moment it vanishes, it collides with a distant planet. The impact is so massive, so galaxy-shaking, it's visible for light years. Fly right into a star. Interior, Eclipse Destroyer, space. Leia shields her eyes at the enormous explosion in deep space, pulsating in the starry twilight, a beacon of hope. Radio communications instantly crackle to life. A cacophony of voices fill the frequency waves, calling on their brethren to fight. Exterior, Monument Square, day. Finn, Poe, Rose, Chewie, and the droids all look up, awed, inspired. But they can't celebrate. Not yet. He looks at Finn, speaking volumes. Wait. Who's he? They don't say who he is. Because they kept talking about, like, they, but now they say he, but who's he? Never mind. You feel it too. Poe nods, affirming their connection. Rey is gone. Interior, Temple of Mortis, night. Rey lies flat on the stone. Silence. Light fills the space around her. Particles of energy floating up. She rises with them. The light engulfs the frame until we reach a place beyond what we know. The astral plane. Glimmers of energy flicker like fireflies in darkness. Rey opens her eyes, clear again, unburdened. Three of the distant glimmers grow larger than the others. She moves toward them. Yoda, Luke Skywalker, and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Is this death? In this place there's no such thing as death. I can see. Your true self is free of suffering, free of pain. Taught as much, you have. I've taught you? Second, we're succeeded where we have failed. Narrow was our point of view. You chose to embrace the dark side and the light, to find balance within. Coexist, they must, as such feelings do in all of us. But if I'm here with you... A choice you must make, to return or to remain. Here there is serenity, knowledge, peace, those lost but not forgotten. She looks beyond them at the shimmering flecks of energy. And there? There will be a place. There you will face a galaxy in turmoil, pain, suffering, the loss of those you love. But living you will be. Love you shall. We hold on Rey's face as she considers the life she's yet to live and makes her decision. Thank you. The spirits fade into the cosmic force. As the light overwhelms us, Obi-Wan Kenobi's voice echoes. You are a Jedi, Rey Solana, but you will not be the last. Exterior, Coruscant, day. A resistance flag rises from the rubble at the site of the old capital. Thousands of citizens fill the square, free. Interior, ceremonial hall, day. Heroes at attention. Leia Skywalker Organa in elegant white. Lando Calrissian and her top generals around her. Finn, Rose, Poe, and Chewie stand before Leia. She places medals of honor around each of their necks. BB-8 beeps excitedly at their feet. After 40 years of service, Chewie gets a medal. Exterior, landing platforms, sunset. Leia looks down at the blue beacon bracelet once used to guide Rey back to safety, clenched tight in her hand. Finn and Rose stay by her side. I can't feel her presence. Finn bows his head. Neither can he. But there's a calm I've never felt. Balance. That's her. Leia smiles. BB-8 rolls up, beeps to Rose and Finn. Come on, we have work to do. Leia approaches Poe and Chewbacca, also on their way. She places the beacon bracelet in Poe's hand. I'll never stop looking. Chewbacca gives her a giant Wookiee hug. Okay, take it easy. Finn approaches Poe, holding something under his arm. Let me know what you find.
I will.
Finn hands Poe his old leather jacket. For good luck. Poe smiles, takes it, hugs him. Chewbacca growls. We follow Poe and Chewie to the Millennium Falcon, rebuilt to look better than it has in decades. Interior, Millennium Falcon, space. Poe flips switches in the cockpit.
Ready, Chewie?
He takes Rey's beacon and hangs it, replacing Han's dice. Interior, Leia's quarters, night. Leia watches from her window as the Millennium Falcon jets off into the starfield. The Phantom Hawk rockets the other way into empty space. Leia checks on R2-D2, still under construction. A repair droid works on rebuilding his destroyed frame. How's he coming along? A quick cycle through his memory banks and he'll be his old self again. I hope. He'll be fine for 3PO. I can't imagine what I'd do without him. I know he's stubborn, but I know. Leia picks up R2-D2's intact memory drive, rescued by BB-8. She inserts it into R2-D2, reminiscent of the first time we saw the princess with the droid. R2 beeps to life. As his files catalog into chronological order, he projects the contents of his memory banks, and we witness their adventures over 60 years, all from the droid's perspective. Luke buying C-3PO from the Jawas, Obi-Wan giving Luke his father's lightsaber, R2 flying through the Death Star trench, Han getting his medal on Yavin, Yoda lifting the X-Wing from the swamp, Luke saluting from the plank on Jabba's barge, Leia and Han outside the bunker on Endor. Leia is taken back by the flood of memories. It is a catharsis for her, and for us. She takes a deep breath. Thank you, R2. Leia leaves them alone together. I just realized something. Let me just do this and... Hang on. Yeah, there we go. Okay, she takes a deep breath. Thank you, R2. Leia leaves them alone together. R2-D2 beeps affectionately. Exterior, Leia's balcony. Night. Leia steps outside, looks up at the field of stars. He looks up at the vastness of space. A star falls. It gives her peace. Exterior, Modesta, day. A serene, sun-dappled ranch surrounded by rolling green fields of tall grass. Smoke curls from the chimney. Interior, homestead, day. Finn sits with a circle of young kids, 6 to 11, in a sun-drenched cabin. A fire crackles as he finishes the story. And the light could be seen all over the galaxy, in every system. Rey gave us all hope. A little girl, 7, looks confused.
But how do you know she's really gone?
I don't think she's gone. I don't think she is gone. I believe. Finn eyes Rose, seated at a wood table, parts of a droid's motivator spread out in front of her. She smiles. I believe someday she'll come back, and when she does, we'll be here waiting. All of us. The kids smile, relieved. They like that ending. Go on, go outside. The kids leap up and run out into daylight. Finn rises with them and follows the last one out. Exterior, Modesta, day. The children race about the pasture. Dade is among them. So is the broom boy from Canto Bight. They race around a Nerf foal, trying to hook a ring around its tiny horns. BB-8 races with them, beeping excitedly. The little girl hooks it. The ring flies back through the air into her hand. These children are force sensitive. Finn and Rose have built a refuge for force-sensitive youth to build. Finn and Rose have built a refuge for force-sensitive youth to live the life they never had. Finn steps onto the front porch, leans against a post. The twin sunset washes his face. Something in that sunset changes his wistful expression. Unclear at first, but soon becomes a realization. A tremor in the force. Interior, Millennium Falcon, deep space. Poe and Chewie in the Falcon at light speed. The beacon hanging from the dash suddenly begins to glow. Chewie roars. Poe sees it, eyes wide.
Chewie, turn the ship around. I know, just turn around.
Exterior, Modesta, day. Finn notices a glimmer of light in the distance. He steps forward to get a closer look. Rose joins him, shielding her eyes from the sun. A figure blurs on the horizon, a familiar silhouette, dirty, ragged, walking for a long time. BB-8 rolls forward, beeps excitedly. The kids hear the droid, stop their game, look to the fields beyond. On the horizon, Rey Solana. Her eyes are restored, only a faint scar runs across her forehead. The kids run toward her, joined by BB-8, who is faster. Rey walks on toward the homestead. Here, she will train a new generation of Jedi and pass down what she has learned, that only an understanding of the balance within can lead to peace and justice in the galaxy. The end. Now, okay, so I think this would have been an okay ending, but there are like so many. I mean, you guys saw me like highlight a lot of these things, right? I'll tell you why I've been highlighting these things. Like, let's start with this one, for example. It gives her peace. You know, it's like, one of the things about screenwriting is that you shouldn't write what the audience or reader already knows. Like, A Star Falls, it gives her peace. It's just that, again, in the movie, you wouldn't know that gives her peace. Like, instead of saying it gives her peace, it should say something like a smile spreads on her face. You know, a relaxed smile spreads on her face. No, Starlight, not like a piece of pizza. I mean, but you know what I mean, right? Like, a star falls, a smile spreads on her face. You know, like the smile would indicate that she's, happy in that moment. But the script saying it gives her peace, like it does, like it's not going to give any kind of indication unless you see it in the movie itself. Oh, and this thing, like the kids smile, relieved. They like that ending. It's like, yeah, I know they like that ending because they just said that the kids smile, relieved. That's just a little unnecessary extra sentence right there. Yeah, exactly. Something like that, Starlight. And this thing about these children are force sensitive. Like, I didn't really understand that, this line right here was supposed to imply, like, the fact that they were force sensitive. It just says, the little girl hooks it. The ring flies back through the air into her hand. Like, maybe if it said, like, it goes through the air, stops in midair, and then, goes back to the girl's hand, almost like a metal rushing toward a magnet. Like, that would have implied, that force ability right there. But again, it's another underlined thing. Like, oh, this is a very clever thing, so we gotta underline it. No, the thing is, you don't need to, like, the fact that they're showing like some kind of force telekinetic ability, that should imply enough that these children are force sensitive. There's no need for the sentence, these children are force sensitive, or these children have a high midichlorian count. It doesn't make any of those sentences necessary. It's just padding. Oh, and this part right here. Finn and Rose have built a refuge for force-sensitive youth to live the life they never had. It's like, yeah, that was kind of implied at the very beginning of the scene. Like, we know that that's basically what happened, but again, it's just spelling it out for us. Like, we don't understand what the scene is about. And then there's this part right here. Here she will train a new generation of Jedi and pass down what she has learned, that only an understanding of the balance within can lead to peace and justice in the galaxy. Nothing about that is going to be shown in the movie itself. Like, this is a classic example of telling and not showing. Like, instead of saying, here she will train a new generation of Jedi and pass down what she has learned, blah, 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 you know, that kind of stuff. Instead of saying like this entire sentence right here, they should just cut to a scene of Rey starting to teach all the kids about how the Force works. You know, like, there are two sides to the Force, light and dark. It was originally believed that, you know, one should pursue the light only and only the dark, and not the dark. But the point is, it would be a demonstration. It would be a demonstration of, like, you know, how the Force works, how the ways of the Jedi work, how the ways of the Sith work. But instead we're given this whole, here she will teach a new Jedi. Like, again, that's not going to be shown in the movie. I mean, there are, like, some cool ideas in this script, don't get me wrong. I just think that, you know, I just don't think these guys really know how to write. Also, a very amateur way of, like, you know, of, like, showing perspective in a script is like, we zoom past so-and-so, like, we this, we that. As in, like, we, the audience, are now experiencing this. We, the audience, are experiencing that. It's like we see through her eyes the chaos that ensued. Instead of saying we see through her eyes, it should be something like, from her perspective, the chaos is out of control. They could have made Rey a Skywalker, though. Yeah, maybe. I think what they were trying to do with the last name Solana is that it's a combination of the last names Solo and Organa, hence Solana. But her name actually is Solana. I think that was just meant to be, like, you know, kind of a wink and a nod to the names Solo and Organa. But man, there were just... Again, there are a lot of cool moments, but the way that the script was written, it just makes me cringe and makes me angry. Again, like, he realized he lost the Star Wars. It's like, are you freaking kidding, dude? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if that was the line that made this script get rejected. Oh, and I almost forgot this other thing. One thing that a lot of other people have, you know, criticized about The Rise of Skywalker, or the sequel trilogy in general, really, or anything about, is that Finn's role and Rose's role in the story were, you know, greatly reduced. Here, let me put this. Yes, this one right here. So the part where Finn is giving this big motivational speech about how everyone should resist and fight back. Like, hundreds then thousands of people clanking their possessions together in unison. Like, the scene could have ended right there, because it illustrates that, you know, Finn has everyone's attention, and they're ready to go fight with him. But again, this little sentence at the end is added. Finn stands tall. From traitor to deserter to revolutionary leader, his journey has led to this. Again, that's something we already know. You don't need to add this sentence to it. It's like, we know that he's a leader now. And yes, this is an important character moment for him, but this is just something that didn't need to be put in. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of these extra things were put in just to make the script longer. I mean, I'm trying to not sound complaining. I'm just trying to critique. But I'm just very passionate about my critiques. So it can kind of make me sound like I'm whining or being overly critical. I'm just, you know, I've read a lot of scripts. I've seen a lot of stories, whether in book form, movie form, TV show form, and so I have a knack of like what makes a story good, what makes writing good, or things like that. But one of the things that I enjoy about, doing these live streams is that I can actually, sit down and kind of give my own commentary on like the stuff that I read. And I could say like, okay, they should have done this and they should have done that. Yeah, I figured you were joking, Starlight. I just was. I yeah, I kind of see what you did there. But anyway. So if anyone here is an aspiring screenwriter, don't do things like this ever. Oh, wait. And you know that we thing that I kept talking about? The word we is in here a lot. Wow. Is it like we see? No. Oh yeah, like this one. We notice Poe's hand on a concealed blaster beneath his robe. Finn regains his footing, clenching his neck. Again, it's like, instead of saying we notice Poe's hand on a concealed blaster, it should be like Poe's hand is on a concealed blaster. Like adding the word we for a description. Like, again, that's just an amateurish thing to do. I mean, I'll be the first to admit that I haven't finished any like full-length scripts, but I know not to put things like we notice so and so. It's like come on, dude. Here, come on, there's got to be some other examples that I can find. We. I'm surprised by how often the word we is used in this script. I never noticed. Oh yeah, there's this other thing, like, not the girl we last saw, a grown woman, powerful, strong. Again, we know this stuff already because it was just demonstrated to us how Rey is a total badass right now. This last part right here did not need to be added. Oh, and another thing, Rey spins and blocks a laser blast we didn't see coming. Like, instead of saying we didn't see coming, it could be like Rey spins and blocks a blast, an unseen laser blast. Or like a surprise laser blast again. I mean, how am I more educated about this stuff than big time Hollywood writers? I don't get it. Well, Snoke definitely has a backstory. It's just something outside of the movies, which is a thing that Star Wars does. I mean, like even before Disney bought Lucasfilm, Star Wars had a habit of explaining little details like that. But you guys know. But tell me, all this stuff that I'm explaining, do you guys find it to be informative and enlightening? Because I certainly think it's a thing that should be taught more, and I'm surprised that when the script was written, no one was like, did you really need to add that line in there? So yeah, I like to add commentary and I like to educate, and I hope all that stuff is fun for all of you. No, they do not, Starlight. No, they do not. And again, I've read this entire script before, but there are some things in the script that I totally forgot. Like that whole thing about, like, he lost the Star Wars kind of thing. Like, I don't know how I forgot about that. Now when I think about this script, I'm never not gonna think about that. But anyway, I hope you guys had a lot of fun with this live read live stream. Uh, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen next weekend. I definitely think I should get the ball rolling on my other YouTube channel, which I know I've been working on for like the greater part of forever, but yeah. Hopefully I can actually start to get things rolling. A lot of things have been holding me back. Like, I've been reorganizing my room, I've had a lot of stuff happening in my personal life, so it's been kind of hard to focus on a lot of that stuff. But hopefully I can finally just, go at it. Well, a lot of people were expecting Finn to become a Jedi since, he was the one who was using the lightsaber in the Force Awakens movie. What are you talking about? Who's it? I'm saying that, people were expecting Finn to be a Jedi when the trailer for The Force Awakens came out. They expected him to be the wielder of the lightsaber and not Rey. But I don't want to take up too much of your time. But again, I hope you all really enjoyed this live read live stream, and I hope I've been educating you about how screenwriting should work and more importantly, how it doesn't work with certain things. And I hope to see you all again soon. All right? Have a good day, everybody. Unless anyone has some final words to say.